Hello, Western Irondequoit. This is your Superintendent, Aaron Johnson, with a weekly update. I just want to start out this week with a few thank yous for people across the community. Number one, to the community itself. I can't tell you how great it's been to see the outpouring of kindness, the appreciation for our children, the appreciation for one another, the food drives, all of the support that you're giving to your neighbors. Thank you for what you do. Secondly, I want to give a big shout out to our families. Working through this, your patience, your resilience, all the efforts that you put in to make sure that your students have what they need to carry on and reestablish some sense of normalcy, some sense of routine in a world that just has been kind of turned upside down. Thank you to our staff. I know that our staff, when this all hit, they spent a day and put materials together for students, made sure that they had everything that they needed for the upcoming 2 weeks, much of which was unknown, and what they've had to do over those 2 weeks to support our students, to support their colleagues, to reestablish their families and to care for them. We recognize everything that you guys are carrying, and we really appreciate that. And to our essential staff that have been on campus, thank you for being here, starting with our food service, who every day are making meals, and we've increased those numbers up to over 400 breakfasts and meals being given out to our children every day. So thank you to all of the people that are involved in the production of that, the delivery of that. Thank you to our security who are here keeping our buildings and facilities safe. And thank you to our administrators and everyone that's working either here or remotely. And lastly, I just want to thank our Board of Education, our governance team, who has been steadfast and provided that leadership during this time of uncertainty. Certainly as a superintendent, partnering with those 7 people and having them as a rock to lean on has given me confidence and the ability to move forward with that confidence to support our students and staff as needed. So I really appreciate everything that they've done. So as we talk about this sense of community and the way that the coronavirus has disrupted that recently, I just think about all the ways that our students and our families are battling that. That's a really tough problem right now. And I heard recently when I was listening to another community's communication, it was actually Dr. Terranova, somebody that you know very well and we love, and we know that he's doing well and being a great leader in his community right now. But he was talking about the difference between community and isolation. And you know, as the opposite of sense of community, it's very easy for us to slip into this sense of isolation right now. So I urge you to battle that, to find ways, creative ways that you can connect with one another, love one another, support one another. Things like coming up with socially distanced ways to engage, teleconferencing with your friends. It's definitely different seeing somebody in video versus just over the phone. So take the time to do that. Setting up virtual play dates, maybe setting up a book talk or some type of circle where you can talk about some literature that you love. Getting outside, enjoying nature, walking the dog. I appreciate seeing people every day using our fields and facilities for solitary fitness and recreation. And I appreciate the fact that you've been respectful of your social distancing. But please remember that our courts and our playgrounds at this point have been closed to the public. And we did that out of a sense of safety for you. We don't have a way right now to effectively clean and sanitize those on a daily basis. So when you use those, you're using those at your own risk. And we really don't want you to take that risk. We want you to be safe. So we appreciate you partnering with us on that. Some of you may have seen that the governor extended the closure of schools through April 15th. And by that, I mean that at this point, schools will be closed with students returning on April 15th. Now, I know that the governor is going to reassess that based on how this pandemic progresses. But for right now, that gives us something to plan on. During that time, we're going to continue to provide meals for our students. And again, couldn't be more happy with the work that's being done there. So every day, We'll have breakfast and lunch available to pick up at the regular times that we've established at those locations for our families. As we extend this closure, we know that we had prepared 2 weeks of materials for our students to do at home, most of that being review. And as we sit here on Friday, our students have exhausted those materials. And again, I thank our teachers and our staff for coming in and very quickly mobilizing and organizing all of those materials and getting them out to you. Now with that, we know that if we continue to tread water and stay in place, hold in place here with the review materials, we risk our students falling further and further behind. So next week, we're going to be leading a charge to transition from review or remedial materials to new learning with our staff. Some people are going to be better prepared to do that, and some people will be navigating their way through that. But we've all agreed on a common understanding that on Monday, April 13th, everyone will be prepared to deliver new learning at home for our students, and we'll be planning 1 week at a time. So every week, you're going to get an update of plans that can be administered at home by you and your students, where students can get into some new topics and some new standards, moving their understanding and learning forward. If you ever have questions or concerns through this time, we understand that there's going to be many obstacles, some that we know, some that we don't. We just want to remind you that we're in this together. We've committed to a partnership with you. Please reach out to your child's teacher, to their counselor, to your child's principal with any questions, concerns, feedback, advice, whatever it is. We're here to help you get through this. One piece of advice that we've received up to this point just has been about communication. We've received very positive comments about the nature of our communication and the amount that we're giving, but at times, because it's coming from multiple people about multiple topics, I understand that that can be a bit overwhelming, especially when many of you are taking on new routines and new responsibilities at home. So with that, we're going to be working on establishing some systems and putting those in place over the next week, where we can streamline some of that and hopefully minimize that so that we have one place that you go to access those communications, or a couple of places that you would go to access those communications. For me as a superintendent, I plan to provide you an update and a message every Friday. I know that the principals and the teachers are working out a regular pattern for their communications. And again, we'll structure that so that it's something that you can receive in a way that can be easily digested. So with that, I just want to close with this. I know that the days are getting longer. And again, I can see many people outside enjoying time with family and friends at a distance, walking their pets, or just enjoying that sunshine. But please remember, as you stay active, participate in that social distancing, and make sure that you're washing your hands, and make sure that you're keeping yourself healthy and well. Thank you.